You deserve the fullness that life has to offer, so why not make the small moments more special, delicious, and enchanting? Life Reimagined is where self love comes first. Let's indulge in the simple pleasures, dig deeper into what we deserve, and make our spaces just a little more beautiful along the way. We still have a lot more time before we need to pull out the pumpkin spice and knitted sweaters. Grilling, entertaining, fun, all of the above in the sun until we say that it's over, okay? So in today's episode of Life Reimagined, I'm gonna show you 3 ways to make delicious and easy kebabs that are crowd pleasers. Whether you're entertaining a large group, a more intimate setting with one of your close friends, or if you just want a little snacky snack at home while you cuddle up on the couch and watch your favorite shows. The first skewer we have is an easy baked chicken kebab. The second one is a really delicious and savory shrimp pesto kebab. And then the third set of kebabs that we have here are a little bit smaller, but I promise you they're mighty when it comes to the flavor that they punch. So this is a charcuterie skewer. And y'all know I am notorious for a charcuterie board, but what I've realized is that sometimes when you're entertaining and people are over and they're talking, mingling, they just want something easy that they can grab and go. These charcuterie skewers make it so much easier for you to nibble and have a cocktail in your hand at the same time. Let's just get right into the prep for this. Before we dive too deep, I just want to emphasize that you do not need to make all 3 of these skewers in one sitting. I thought of this idea when our new grill showed up, and I was thinking of all the unique and fun and amazing things that I could make on the grill while we still have some time left this summer. And kebabs came to mind. So I was like, why not show them how to make kebabs in 3 different ways? And I wanted to make sure I wasn't leaving anyone out in the process because we did just get our home a few months ago, and prior to us having our grill, I had to make kebabs in the oven, stovetop. So I figured why not show you 3 different ways depending on what you have available to you and what you feel like you're up to making. And now I'm gonna combine the chicken with the marinade so we can let it soak and let those flavors really seep in before we put it in for baking. I personally like to make sure that I'm whisking all of the ingredients together because the oil and the lemon juice is gonna separate while it's sitting on the side. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just add the chicken in. You know we like to preserve our nails around here, so I'm gonna use a spoon to make sure that I am fully coating the chicken in the marinade, but if you want, you can always use your hands. You can put on some gloves and use your hands, whatever feels most comfortable to you. So you can really get in there and make sure that each piece of chicken is covered. The thing about boneless, skinless chicken breasts is you really got to take your time with it to make sure that the flavors really seep all the way through, because there's nothing worse than chicken tasting good on the outside, but then once you get into the center, there's no flavor at all. I'm gonna take some plastic wrap, seal this bad boy up, and pop it into the fridge for about an hour. If you're doing this the night before, you can pop it in for no more than 12 hours. While the chicken is marinating in the fridge, I'm gonna move on to the shrimp. So here's a great tip that I learned whenever it comes to creating kebabs, either on the grill or in the oven. The way that you make sure that the sticks, the actual skewers, don't burn is by soaking them for 30 minutes before. Before we add the shrimp to each of the skewers, we gotta make sure we season it up, of course. Shrimp naturally has a lot of really great flavors that can be brought out by the right spices, and I'm gonna make sure that I season it up with some salt, pepper, and that pesto before we put it on the grill. Shrimp is one of those dishes where you can do a lot with it and very little effort. So I always try to incorporate some type of shrimp dish when I'm entertaining because it's quick, easy, and who doesn't like shrimp? I'm laughing at myself as I watch this back because I'm talking about not messing up my nails and using other utensils to make sure that I'm marinating and seasoning up my meats. And here I am just digging in there with my nails. At that point, I was like, you know what? I don't really care to put on any gloves. For once, I don't have gems or any type of 3D nail design. So I was like, it's fine. I don't want you to be intimidated by this and feel like it has to look super aesthetic. I think as long as the food is edible, it's okay. And as long as you have pops of color, I think that's what makes it even more beautiful and exciting. I'm gonna be honest, David is the one who generally mans the grill, but I told myself that I was gonna make sure that I knew at least how to use it, and from time to time would make sure that I was putting some things on there. I'm the queen of marinating, seasoning things up, and then he puts it on the grill. Mainly because I don't wanna be hot and sweaty sweating outside, not for any other reason. I highly suggest trying Manchego and always including it. When it comes to flavor, texture, this is the cheese. When it comes to putting together a cheese board, I'm all about mixing flavors. Salty and sweet, sometimes a little bit of spicy works in there as well. When you mix the flavors, that's what makes people more excited, and that's the reason why I think people are so obsessed with cheese and charcuterie boards these days. Now that we have our hot kebabs done, I'm gonna show you how to make a cold charcuterie kebab, and these are great, especially when you're entertaining, especially when you have a charcuterie board, because it's like a really nice alternative to everyone having to pick everything up and create their own little cracker. This is something where they can just grab it and eat it as is. It's already done for them and super easy. Also, it's a little bit less intimidating than the entire grazing board, because I've had some friends come over like, okay, so how do I do this? Where do I start? And I'm like, you do whatever you want, boo. You can mix and match and create your charcuterie cracker however you'd like. The charcuterie that we're gonna be working with today is prosciutto, one of my favorite, and it goes very, very, very well with cantaloupe. And I have some cantaloupe here that I've sliced up, as well as some Manchego cheese. This is my absolute favorite cheese ever. And because I'm pregnant and I can't have any prosciutto, I also have a lovely alternative. We have some Calamata olives. So this is gonna be my charcuterie. It's gonna give me that nice salty flavor. It's substantial, chewy, kind of reminds me of meat a little bit. So it's my own way, or my own version of having charcuterie until the baby pops out, and then I can get back to the real meat. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Manchego cheese, I'm gonna fold the prosciutto in half, and then I'm going to wrap the prosciutto around the cheese. This is gonna be a little thick, so I'm gonna take a little bit off of that one. And then we're gonna place the kebab stick right here. We're gonna take a piece of melon and add that on as well. And there you have it. What's interesting is that I didn't grow up with my mom or grandma making really fancy, fabulous, large spreads for entertaining. And don't get me wrong, they know how to cook, they know how to throw down in the kitchen. I'm from a Jamaican household, and the food was on point. But when it came to doing lavish dinner parties and soirees and putting together charcuterie boards, this isn't something that was innately normal in my household or my upbringing. I used to work in the fashion industry, and I used to go to so many lavish events. We used to put on lavish events, and I saw all that went into the behind the scenes, and I loved seeing everything come to life, especially the way that people entertained in their home. The designers that I worked with, they just had a way of making everything even more special and even more beautiful. And I told myself that when I have my own space and I'm able to do this, able to have my friends over and create beautiful spreads, I'm gonna do it. And I say that to say that no matter what, no matter how we've been raised, no matter where we live, no matter what we've seen or been told before, we can reimagine our lives each and every single day. We can make the small moments even more special. As adults, whether or not we're in school, it's important that we're still learning, we're still experimenting and trying new things. Reimagining life is just that, finding unique ways to really bring out the beauty in the ordinary around me. And I want you to take that with you as well, in case you're feeling a little intimidated by doing a spread or putting together your own kebab. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be super seamless the first go round. We all are here to just learn and evolve and grow. And that makes things more exciting. Ooh, the baby is kicking. I know he's excited right now to dig in because we're almost done. Okay, so the last thing that I'm gonna do to top off my charcuterie skewers is I'm gonna add my absolute favorite topping that I use in all my charcuterie boards, and it's always a crowd pleaser, some honey. I'm gonna drizzle the honey on because I don't want too much, but just enough so you can get that nice sweet taste, and drizzle it all over each of these skewers. Honey is always a nice treat because it's something that you don't necessarily expect, and that's what makes it a crowd pleaser. And there you have it, a trio of kebabs that you can make right in your own home. Whether you have a grill outside, just your oven, or you wanna make a quick snack for yourself and some friends, these are 3 options that I promise you are gonna be a complete hit. I hope this episode of Life Reimagined inspires you to try something new and reignited that excitement about it being summer. Summer is not over. And again, life is what you make it. So why not make it more beautiful? Now it's time for me and my husband to dig in. Until next time.